Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 314. One episode away from opening day. This episode is also dedicated to our dear friend, Captain J-Ro. We will get into him later on. But first, I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
I'm good, Nick. Been a long week, been a challenging, tough week. But in good spirits because that's the way it should be.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a ton of stuff to get to. I know we had the fantasy draft last Thursday, so we didn't really get to talk about the WBC much. And there's some other news kind of rolling into opening day on Thursday. So we'll get to all of that. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. If you do any shopping for these companies, you can do so through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. And creators everywhere need your help, so every little bit really does help. So would appreciate that a lot. Also, we have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding Third Baseball, we have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases. Just another great way to support us and to get our name out there. So check us out on Etsy. And Patreon. We are really focused on getting stuff there. Harrison and I are going back to the drawing board, and we are really going to start pushing everything to Patreon. So we can be supported as creators. Like I said, creators everywhere are kind of having an issue with a certain platform, and Patreon is a great way to support your favorite creators. So we are going to build the heck out of that, and we'll see what happens from there. But make sure to find us on Patreon, Rounding Third Baseball. If you don't have the app, it's just a nice little app. You can find us on there. You can join the community for free, or there's paid memberships that can come with different perks. So check us out over there. All right. USA, Venezuela. Like we said, didn't really get to talk about it much last week. We had a lot going on. What was your final thoughts on the final game, USA, Venezuela?
I mean, first of all, it was a great game. Right down to the very end. Great game overall. But again, USA comes up short. And hats off to Venezuela. They pitched well. They hit when they had to. USA just can't seem to crack the code again. They can get there, they just can't get it done. And it's the big stars that continue to let them down in the big spots. Thank God Bryce Harper delivered because he had done basically nothing to that point.
Right.
And that was a massive hit. I saw a post, the greatest clutch hit in history nobody's ever going to talk about. Yeah, it might be. I mean, game tying home run, bottom of the eighth. Yeah, that was a big deal until it wasn't.
Right.
But you got nothing from Aaron Judge. You got up and down that lineup. They just, in the big spots, they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of our worry about this team. After watching the first two games in pool play, they weren't scoring till like the fifth or sixth inning. And I'm like, that's going to be a problem when you're playing better teams, right?
Yep.
They face the DR and they come out slow again. But I mean, you got bailed out by Paul Skeens a couple of times, right? So USA was able to scratch that one across with that questionable strike three call to Perdomo. Listen, I love Perdomo, but that's too close to take. You got to foul that off or something.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, you don't have ABS to back you up there. But yeah, USA was tough. Welcome, Jacob. We got a new one on the show. Love it. Welcome. But yeah, so I just, it was tough. USA's offense was very inconsistent. I mean, minus a couple of guys. Roman Anthony had a great one, but just kind of flat, for lack of a better word, in the championship game.
Yeah, and you mentioned they were kind of flat the whole time. Yeah. And I think at first we defended them being flat with, they were focused, they were serious. But when it really came down to it, they were tight. I think that team was just tight. I think they could feel the pressure. They were the favorites. They were supposed to go win this thing. and I think ultimately that might have been too much for them. And what I would say is you had some young players who really balled out for you. I mean, Roman Anthony, Gunnar Henderson, and I think you gave too much time to the wily veterans that had been there before when you had guys that really had deserved playing time over them. And I'm not trying to second guess the lineup that DeRosa made. I mean, it's pretty hard to pick between all those names. I mean, it's a crazy looking lineup, but
Yeah.
it is. I think that you get too enamored by the names on the back, and you forget that you're playing for the name on the front.
Hmm.
And that's the one thing I felt with this Team USA is that was an all-star game. That was an all-star team that showed up to play, where everybody else showed up for a country.
Yep.
Acuna saying, "I made my people proud," and that's most important to me.
Yep.
They're playing for the country, where Team USA was playing to play because they were an all-star team that was assembled to go out there and win.
Yeah. What do you think about DeRosa leaving Raleigh on the bench? Yay? Nay?
Uh, Cal Raleigh couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat
I'm with you.
that whole week. I mean, Cal Raleigh in that lineup was going to give you absolutely nothing because that's what he'd given you so far. I hate to say it, love Cal, but that dude was not going to hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Yep. A lot of people are like, you left 60 home runs on the bench. He didn't have a single hit in the WBC. I
None of them.
mean, yeah, yeah, 0 for 20, Jacob says.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, like, how can you is he due? Sure, but are you really gonna roll the dice right there? No, I want to have somebody that's seeing the ball well, right?
yep,
And to give us a shot. But Curtis, this is the assessment. Bats coming up short, pitch restrictions, bad management, overconfidence, my assessment, and it's spot on. In a nutshell, that's
yeah.
exactly what it is.
And I will. The one thing I'll add, and I said it on the last show, is the fact that the Scooble thing, and I can appreciate Scooble. He wants to be on the team, but they need to stop this nonsense of shuffling guys around. You're either on the team or you're not. But being on the team and then not being on the team, and then coming back to be on the bench in uniform, like you're part of the team, like that, and then all the media circus around the fact that Scooble was going back and forth, like they did not need that.
No.
That was poorly handled by Scooble. That was poorly handled by DeRosa. And they didn't need to be talking about whether Scooble was going to be on the bench going into the final. But they were. Like that was the topic. And he was a massive distraction and did them no favors.
Yeah, and even then, even if that's what he wanted to do, if that was the plan, the media didn't need to cover it like it was some big to do.
Yep.
Like if he's part of the team, okay, and if he's only going to make one start, okay, I don't have a problem with it. A lot of these guys had restrictions on every team, not just US.
Yeah.
And why is I mean, I get why Scooble's like a big deal because he's freaking nasty. I get it. But at the same time, like the media is pushing the hype, pushing the oh well, is he gonna go back to pitch? Is he do like just let it be what it is and let these guys go play. You're right, a lot of distractions that they didn't really need, to make them tighter than they were. But and
Yeah.
Curtis, yes, Venezuela gave a damn. They played the game a
Yep.
1000%, and it showed. And we called it, man. That lineup was
Yeah.
good. It was really good. So
Well, and what says a lot to me too is did you see all the videos of Palencia before the final pitch? Like the dude's on the mound crying with 2 outs
yeah,
because he's so excited to win this for his country. And like that's how much it meant to Venezuela. Where Team USA, they're all just standing on the top step, stoic.
right.
Final outs made, they all kind of go, well, they go get their silver medals and walk off the field. Which the giving the silver medals in the field is dumb. Just like put them in a box, put them in the clubhouse, let the guys pick them up on their way out. They don't want those damn things,
No.
and they don't want to be awarded them in air quotes. Like, no, here, hey, you guys lost. Here's a medal for losing. Like nobody wants that. Nobody wants the runner-up trophy given to them on the field. Nobody wants the silver medal given to them on the field. They want to just. It's like when the Super Bowl's over, you stand there for a minute, you take it in, and then you walk away and you close the door on that and you put it
Right.
behind you. And that's what these
Mhm.
guys wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of putting stuff behind us, Harrison, Randy Rosarina apologizes to Cal Raleigh, and says we are brothers. Was this also blown out of proportion?
I mean, unfortunately, Randy started it. I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal if he had just been like, stuck his hand out, didn't get the love, and was like, okay, screw you, Cal. But then he had to go on TV and drop a bunch of F-bombs about Cal. And that's what set this whole thing in motion, was Randy having a little rant on with a microphone in front of him because he can't help himself. The dude's got like zero impulse control. And that's why we're here, because of that rant. Was it blown out of proportion? I mean, no, it was as big as Randy let it be. I think the problem is that's just who Randy is, and he made it a big deal when it didn't have to be. And I think Cal handled it like a pro. He said it's over. Like, out here, we're not teammates, but I love him, and that was it. In Cal's mind, it was over. I do question the timing of the Mariners releasing the statement like today to basically say that they've smoothed it over, because it makes me wonder: did they really smooth it over? Is there some internal stuff going on the Mariners want to quickly bury? Or is this just like the media poking at a wound to see if there's anything still there? Like, I can't tell the source of it, but it's bizarre timing to come out and make this whole apology public when you really shouldn't have to.
Yeah. I mean, I think initially it was blown out of proportion that, like people understand they weren't on the same team at that moment that Randy tried to do it. Did Randy add a little, did he stoke the fire a little bit? Absolutely. That's
what he does.
Right. So, and you're right, Cal handled it like a pro, said all the right things. He's like, I love the dude, just not this week. Like, and dude, why are you, I said this on a couple shows ago, I was like, why are you shaking my hand, man? I saw you 2 days ago in camp. Like, chill.
Right.
Like, I literally just got off the same bus with you too. So like, I don't get it. But for me, this feels like a media question, right? This feels to me like, hey, like, is this really behind you guys, or is there something there? Like, they're just trying to, quote unquote, make sure that nothing else is going. I think this is the media kind of poke. I think they've both moved on at this point. They have bigger fish to fry. But I think the whole thing, yes, blown out of proportion for sure.
Yep. It's totally. I mean, it was dumb by Randy to do it because he knew Cal was going to respond that way, and Naylor did it too, knowing after Cal told him specifically, "Don't do this to me." Naylor did it anyways as a joke, and everybody took that as fine. But then Randy had to go rant and swear about it after the game, and it's like, dude, why can you not just shut your mouth? Like, you can't control yourself, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Brutal.
It's wild.
You're making a problem where there doesn't have to be one.
1,000%. All right, let's get into a couple of injuries here leading into opening day. Trey Yesevich will start the season on the IL. Now, I realize that the mechanics they have got them to where they are, to the MLB. But is that the issue with some of these injuries? We look at Yesevich, like crazy over the top. That can't be a regular motion for your shoulder. He's on the IL for a shoulder impingement. You look at Tim Lincecum and what is it? Jonah, why am I blanking on Tong for the Mets? He kind of has that Tim Lincecum delivery. Is that also leading to some of these injuries because they're not, quote unquote, proper mechanics?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I think it's absolutely the fact that I think it's one, the body was not meant to do what these guys are making it do. Like, DeGrom's a great example. He's got that same arm whip that Lincecum had, where his like hand is like level with his elbow as he comes through. It's so far back. It just looks like his arm's going to snap off. But it's absolutely part of the issue that they are asking their bodies to do more than it's meant for. And a lot of these guys, they have mechanics that work for them. It doesn't mean it's, anatomically correct or appropriate or viable. Just this is what works for them. And we've seen guys throw over the top, 3/4, sidearm, submarine. Like, we've seen these guys throw from all crazy angles. We've seen guys with, that pitch from the stretch only, high leg kicks, low leg kicks, slow deliveries, fast deliveries. Like, we've seen it all. And, in there somewhere, there has to be like the right way to do it, which I think everybody's lost track of because everybody has their way. They have their mechanics. They have what their body does. And I think the issue is that many cases, what works for them is not actually going to work for their body long-term. It's just how they're getting the most out of what they have.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Now, I mean, this dude throws 100 straight over the top. His
Yeah.
delivery is what got him here. But if it's hurting his body, do you try to make an adjustment, or does the adjustment not make him as effective as he is now? Like, it is kind of a dangerous game to play.
Yep.
I understand that, but at some point, like, I don't know his injury history off the top of my head, but this is a concern for Blue Jays fans and baseball fans. We saw this guy just blow up on the scene.
Yep.
Started in single A last year, gets all the way up to the big club, pitches in huge games for the Blue Jays down the stretch and in the playoffs, completely dealt. And now we're starting already kind of on the injury train. Makes me a little worried here. But
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, the mechanics these guys have is what makes them who they are.
right.
You know, Yasevich has gotten to this point doing what he does. Changing him now would be crazy. That'd be insane to try to change what he does right now. Now, could you find some minor improvements to help prolong his career? Yeah. But like the idea of a wholesale change to his delivery to try to preserve him, you probably end up with a guy who's not even worth preserving anymore because he's lost what makes him unique.
Yeah.
His whole thing is it's velocity from the top, and it's that crazy splitter from the top
Yeah.
that nobody sees. Like, it just the way the bottom falls out is so different.
Yeah.
If you dropped his arm slot or whatever, that pitch is completely different, and he may not be the same guy. So it's you don't
Great.
it's kind of like Coke. You don't mess with the formula because it's worked forever.
Right.
May not be the best thing for you, but but it's worked forever.
Yeah, Michael, this is it. Pitchers need to learn to pitch, not just throw gas. That's the issue across the board. I'm totally with you. And Mike, this is a good question. If he misses significant time, does that hurt the Jays' chances of winning the division? I I think possibly yes. I mean, this guy is a stopper. And if they lose the depth in the rotation, now we're talking about the Red Sox, right? The Yankees are kind of trying to figure out their starting pitching when it gets back. This could be the Red Sox time to pounce. They have the tools, they have the pitching rotation if that stays healthy. This could be an opportunity for the Red Sox to kind of overtake, depending on how long this injury is going to last. They're saying mid-April that Yasevich is back, but that's barring any setbacks. Do the Blue Jays have other guys to throw the ball? Yes. But right now, I think the Red Sox have the most complete rotation in the AL East. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees would if they were healthy.
Yeah.
But they won't have their rotation won't be complete until June.
Right.
So I mean, coming out of the gate, yeah, I think the Red Sox have the most complete rotation in the AL East. And I think the problem the Blue Jays have is the AL East is a 3, maybe 4 team battle, and the gaps aren't that big. So, a couple of games could be the difference between first and third in this division. Now,
Let's
does
be
it change
honest.
their?
Don't sleep on the Rays either. They have
I
a
mean,
pretty
no.
good decent pitching staff, and they got a guy that's hitting 85 home runs this year. So don't sleep on the Rays, man.
I mean, there's no layups in the AL East, that's for sure. But
None.
I mean, a couple of games could be the difference between first and third. I mean, it could be
Yeah.
that close. And if you lose Yasevich for 2 starts, 5 starts, 10 starts, and they drop a couple of games because of it, yeah, now you're talking about going from being a division winner to a wild card, and your path is way different. So I think for the to make the playoffs, no, this is a playoff team with or without Yasevich. But is this a division winner? The margins are really slim here.
Yeah, not much room for error for
No.
any team. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. I think this will be the tightest division. But for me, it's the Red Sox have the rotation at this current moment. Yankees will in June, no doubt about it. And I mean, the Blue Jays rotation isn't bad, but where would you rank rotations right now in the AL East? How would you rank them?
I mean, on opening day?
On opening day, with injuries, with everything that's going on.
Yeah, so I mean, it's for me in the AL East, it's the Red Sox 1, the Blue Jays 2, the Yankees 3, the Orioles are probably 4 and the Rays are probably 5. If the Yankees were healthy, I would, they might be the most complete rotation. They might be one with the Red Sox being 2. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about it's a small gap. It's
Right.
a small gap. There's not these teams are all pretty loaded.
Yeah, 1 and 5, I think, is a small gap. I would almost put the Rays ahead of the Orioles in the pitching staff, but you know how I feel about the staff there. But you just don't know what you're going to get with Shane McClanahan. That's the only issue I have with the Rays. But yeah, man.
I mean, you look at their starting rotation, and it's a couple of guys you heard of and a bunch of guys you haven't.
Right.
But the problem with the Rays is the guys you haven't heard of are sometimes disgustingly good, and you just haven't heard of them yet.
Right. You have Pepio, Rasmussen, who got Cy Young votes last year. If you get anything out of McClanahan, their top 3 could blow away the Orioles' top 3 in my eyes. But
their top 3, if they're fully healthy, could blow away the whole division's top 3.
And by the way, the Orioles need starting pitching, correct?
Yeah.
Well, they started Dean Kremer in minor league camp. Yeah. I don't understand that one, but hey, maybe there's someone that took his job. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, I thought for sure your phone was going to ring yesterday when they sent him down, but
yeah, no, I just sent it to voicemail.
Yeah, what does it say? What does it say though when you're pitching desperate and one of the guys that you're really high on you send down?
I don't know.
I mean, I have not yet seen the Orioles' projected rotation because I don't think I think they're finalizing their roster still. Because I think they have until what? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday to submit them?
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know who their 5th starter is going to be if it's not Kremer. I mean, he was supposed to be the guy.
I got nothing. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you who their ace is.
Rogers.
Well, yes, it will be your Rogers, Bradish, Boz, Bassett, Eflin are your projected 5.
All right, so they're going to throw Bassett in the rotation, and I mean, which I guess I understand. Originally, they talked about using Bassett maybe in a swingman role where he could be like a long guy, and then maybe a 6th starter if they needed him. So, okay,
yeah. Rays their rotation: Rasmussen, Nick Martinez, Steven Matz, Pepio, McClanahan. So yeah, maybe I guess I would take the Orioles 4th, Rays 5th, but man, I don't.
But the Rays, if healthy,
could
be the 3rd best rotation in the division. Could even be 1st if you got a healthy McClanahan and Rasmussen. Yeah,
I agree.
Those guys are nasty.
Yep, completely agree. All right, Kyle Stowers out 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring strain. Are we really buying the Marlins or buying more the fact that the NL East is a big question mark?
Well, I was very disappointed because I bought Kyle Stowers in the draft for our league, so that one hurt a little bit. I am buying the Marlins, and I do think the NL East being a little bit more open than usual helps. But this team last year played good baseball. They were not that far off, and at one point they were hanging around the kind of the fringes of the wild card race when they were not supposed to be anywhere near it. So I am absolutely buying the Marlins. They've made some improvements in the offseason. They have so much young talent floating around that some of those guys are going to stick. Stowers is a superstar in the making. We saw Marcy in the WBC. He was incredible. I do think I am buying both the Marlins as being legit and the NL East as being more open than usual.
Yeah. Curtis, damn it, Kyle.
I know. I drafted the guy, and immediately he's like, it's like 2 days later, he's like, oh, geez, he's down. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. So Mike Reed says NL East is a huge question mark, and I'm with you, Harrison. I'm taking both. I'm buying the Marlins, and I'm buying that the NL East is absolute crapshoot. You know,
open.
I project the Marlins to finish ahead of the Braves because I just can't trust their health. And they're out of the top 3, Phillies, Mets, and Braves, they're the ones I trust the least. And it's just because of the injury track record that's already started. I hate that, but that's what I think. I think it's going to take time for the Mets to gel. The Phillies are old. I don't know what you're going to get with their rotation other than Sanchez and maybe Luzardo. But ultimately, do I think they make the playoffs? I want them to, but are they? I don't think they quite get there. But
No.
it's still a good story, and they're not too many pieces away, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where they're at. I think this is again, they're going to be a fringe playoff team, but I am buying the fact that they're not going to fade. I think they're going to be there till the end. They're just not.
Yeah.
They're not quite there, but they're not that far off.
Yeah.
You know, you pair a healthy Stowers with Owen Casey in the outfield, and you begin to see you see a guy like Marcy take a big step forward. Like that could be an incredibly talented outfield, and they're all like barely old enough to buy a beer.
Right.
They could be really good together for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Curtis says they're good, they're great, they're not making the playoffs, and that's pretty much where I am with that. Baseball history dork. This is the Mets year again.
Yeah, I think the Marlins are going to be a team that they're going to hang around pretty much all year, and then they're gonna miss it like we expect them to. But I don't think they're that far off. And if one of these NL East teams trips, the Marlins could absolutely take advantage of that.
Yep, totally agree with you on that. All right, staying in the NL East, Christopher Sanchez signs $107 million extension through 2032. My question to you, does Sanchez have a legit shot at a Cy Young, or not until some guy named Skeens switches leagues or retires?
I mean, I think he has a legit shot at the Cy Young. I do think Skeens is a problem because he's pretty good and doesn't seem like he's going to be not pretty good for a long time. So I do think Skeens is a block, but when you look across the National League, I mean, I think Christopher Sanchez is in that conversation of top 3 or 4 starters in the entire National League. And the body work is not huge, but it's very impressive. And he's gotten better the last couple of years. So I absolutely think he's in that conversation of perennial Cy Young contender, but Skeens is kind of like Ohtani in the MVP race, kind of just in everybody's way.
Yeah, he's top 3. It's Sanchez, Skeens, and Yamamoto. Those are the top 3 that are Cy Young contenders. I'm not even going to say favorites because Yamamoto and Sanchez really aren't favorites. It's a long shot, right? He's got a legit shot at finishing second behind Skeens. Yeah, I agree.
Fair.
The guy did lead the league in WAR last year with 8. He was nasty. You saw him in the WBC. He pitches the lights out. Smart for the Phillies to extend him here, though, to anchor that rotation, especially with question marks in Nola and Wheeler. Huge one with Wheeler.
Yep.
So smart for the Phillies here. Finally, a good decision made by the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, Wheeler's not coming back after this year. So this is your ace. Like the transition is starting.
Right.
This is your guy. Suarez was gone. You let Suarez go, who was kind of the number 2. Sanchez eventually evolved, took over the ace position. When Wheeler comes back, you've got kind of ace 1 and ace 2. Nola's a big question mark. Luzardo just got paid. He's been nasty, but again, like he's got to prove he can win at this level. You got Painter, who's super talented in the 5 spot, very young.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of transition happening here, but at least for the next 6 years, you've got this guy to anchor the whole thing as you figure it out.
Well, let's say 5 because 2027 ain't happening.
Well, fair.
But yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah, totally with you. Curtis says Sanchez is my top pitcher, top 5. He's an ace. No one talks about him like others, and they should. I agree. I think being behind Skeens, this guy gets lost 1,000%. This dude is gross. If you have not, well, I know sometimes it's hard to watch Philadelphia Phillies baseball. I get it, but if he's making a start, you need to watch him. He's got great stuff.
He makes it look easy.
Yeah, all these guys do, man. It makes me sick. It really does.
And what I like about Sanchez is I don't think he even throws max effort. Like he doesn't look like he's giving max effort. Like it's very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And for all I know, maybe he is giving max effort. But it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there's a lot of strain. He's just kind of like letting it go.
Yeah, that's how Skeens is too. Like, I mean, it is unreal. You watch this guy just go, and even at max effort, if you will, it doesn't look like it. They make it look that easy. They're so professional about their jobs that it's just like effortless. I can do this in my sleep.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Interesting question by Mike, though. Do writers start getting Skeens fatigue, though? Like, at what point are you kind of tired of talking about this guy? I mean, I think at some point the writers are gonna be like, it'd be nice to be able to vote for somebody else. But at the end of the day, like, if Skeens is still in the 1-9s, I I don't think it matters. Christopher Sanchez could go win 25 games, but when you're dominating the league like Skeens does, it's really really hard to ignore.
If no one's gotten Otani fatigue yet, no one's gonna get
Yeah,
Skeens
fair.
fatigue. That's an MLB on Facebook really likes. I mean, they should just put MLB on Otani or Otani on MLB or however you want to name it, because every other post is him. Which I get, right? He is the face of the MLB
Yeah.
right now.
The
I get
Otani network.
it. Right. But if they're not fatigued on him, they're not going to be fatigued on Skeens. That's right. That's how I kind of look at that one. But
I mean, you think of the guys that are like the face of baseball, and it's definitely Shohei 1, and it's becoming Paul Skeens too.
yeah, I would say
Uh,
Judge. Yeah,
and Judge,
Otani.
I think
Yeah,
Judge is kind of right behind them.
yeah. I agree. Those are the top three faces in baseball for sure.
Yep.
But Sanchez does deserve some of that. He is straight filth. Straight filth.
He is. But and I think you're going to see the narrative's going to change on him now that he's really the guy. This big extension, like a lot of attention will turn to him.
Yep. Great point. All right. Still staying in the NL East, Sean Manaea to the bullpen. The Mets are paying him $25 million to be a long relief guy. Interesting move here. Is this a lack of a spot in the rotation? What is this?
Yeah. What I read, it's a few things. One, it's a lack of a spot in the rotation because they're going to go with Senga in the 5th spot, and that kind of blocks Manaea. Two, he's continues to have his velocity dip. He's been in the high 80s in spring training. Like, he's not consistently in the 90s anymore. His velocity has gone from 95 to 94 to 92, and now he's like 89. This is the third year in a row his velocity's come down. And the third part of it is the Mets are still considering going to a 6-man rotation where Manaea would then get bumped out. So I mean, he might be a swing guy here for a little while as they go back and forth between 5 and 6 man, because out of the gate, you kind of get the extra days off the first couple weeks of the season. So you really can't justify a 6-man rotation, but they do have stretches coming where they're going to need that extra arm, and he might be the right person at that time.
Yeah. Curtis, yeah, that arm isn't the same. I completely
It's
agree. Yeah, he'll be in the rotation by June at the latest, then probably back to the pen. Yeah, I mean, he's a good insurance to have in case there's someone in the rotation that goes down. And, rarely do we see a starting 5 last the whole season. What was it? 2 years ago, the Mariners had the least amount of starters, and like none of their pitchers missed any time. Was that 24?
Yeah.
I think it was 24. None of their pitchers missed any starts, which is absolutely insane in today's game. So inevitably, Manaea will get some starts, but
yeah. Out of the gate, the Mets are going to go Peralta, Peterson, McLean, Holmes, and Senga. Manaea will be the number 6 guy when they do kind of move to that 6-man rotation here later in April. But I do think that there are concerns with him. The velocity continues to dip. And is that a long-term thing? Is that elbow really even healthy? Like, maybe it doesn't hurt right now, but is it really healthy? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. Opie, this is a good point. His health has been an issue also. Yeah. He made a move to the bullpen. Maybe a move to the bullpen will help him make a full season. And maybe that's part of it too. Maybe if he's not throwing so many bullets, the velocity comes up a little bit. Maybe it comes back a little bit. So
yeah, would you rather see him for 2 or 3 innings twice a week, or would you rather see him for 6 innings once? Maybe there's a benefit to breaking it up. Yeah. And if he looks like he's tired, you can bump him back. Or if another starter's tired and needs a breather, you can move him in the rotation for that start and then put him back. It gives you some flexibility, but I do think the underlying concern here is what is the condition of Manaya's elbow, because his velocity is continuing to disappear.
Yeah, just interesting
And
and hard.
another
Okay.
interesting topic too about the Mets is that they right now are experimenting and considering calling all the pitches from the dugout,
Hmm.
which would be a huge change of direction for. I mean, I don't think anybody calls them from the dugout anymore. But the Mets are experimenting and considering calling all the pitches out of the dugout this year,
Hmm.
which I think will also be interesting because you've got a young catcher that you seem to think very highly of, but you don't want him calling the game. And what are you looking at in the dugout that makes you think you do it differently than him? So interesting what they're doing.
I love the fact that who was it? I think it was Yainer Diaz a couple years ago, or no, it was Martin Maldonado. That's who it was. He got the call from the bullpen, or from the dugout. He looks off to the side, and as he turns his head back to the pitcher and puts the sign down, he's already shaking his head. He knows this ball's going to be deposited over the
Yeah.
left field wall, and he calls it anyways. And there goes the moonshot, and Maldonado just goes right back to the dugout and stares down the coach. He knew, and so like I don't know. They must have no faith in Alvarez's game decisions. I don't know. That's a weird one. That is a
Yeah.
weird one.
I don't get that one. And I don't know what they think they're going to be seeing that's going to, create a different result. But either way, the Mets are the Mets are doing what they always do. They are puzzling and frustrating and never as good as they probably should be.
Yeah. Opie, this is another good game. Use him as an opener, but just give you the 2 or 3 innings. So instead of bringing him in for long relief, you start him for 2 or 3, and then you kind of go into that bullpen game. Still keeping his pitch count down, but still using his services. Yeah, that's a lot of different ideas at play here for sure. So I
Yeah.
like you, Harrison. I'm with you. The flexibility is there.
Yeah. On one hand, I like the flexibility. On the other hand, I'm worried that this is just kind of a sign of bigger problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yankees girls back. Love it. Must be baseball season. Mets think they're playing a video game. Yeah. The pets are the pets. I agree. So crazy. Connor Griffin is going to start the year in AAA. So he's going to take his Little Tykes pirate ship back to Indianapolis. I have one simple question, Harrison. Why?
It has to be the service time thing. That's the only thing I can think of. There's no justification to send him down. What are you hoping that he's going to do down there that he's not going to do at the major league level? Now, we watched the Red Sox do the same thing last year with Roman Anthony. But they sent him down with a mission. We want to see you handle lefties and off-speed pitches better. Once he checked those boxes, he came back. So we saw the Red Sox take a similar path with Roman Anthony. I think that unless the Pirates have like a prescription of what they want to see him do, this is just strictly to call him back up in a month and deal with the service time thing. Because I don't think to them the bonus matters if he wins the Rookie of the Year, because I don't think they care. They want to keep this kid around as long as they possibly can. They've also already talked to him about a 9-year, over $100 million extension to try to make all this a non-issue.
Right.
So if you're talking extension with him, though, why would you send him down?
Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point.
Right. It's irrelevant. So the whole thing is puzzling.
Yeah. If it is the service time thing and they don't get the extension done, then I understand it. Because listen, the Pirates are known for cutting guys with one at bat they need to get their incentives, right? Rowdy Tellez, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. They released both of those guys the last couple of years when they were one game away from their incentives with like a week left to play. So it's just crazy. But the Pirates, if you want this kid to learn, like I'm a learn on the job type of person, as I'm sure a lot of these guys are, right? This kid has immense talent. Do you want him to go up and struggle? Like, no, maybe not. But there's no better way than to learn on the job. Like, you're not going to see major league pitching in AAA. You're not. There's no point to go down and hit 475 with 20 homers in the first week and a half and say, I still got to wait 3 weeks, which is what he's most likely going to do. And in Opie, I get this. He was pressing at the plate. The kid's going to be great, but he hit only 171 in the spring. Let him get his feet under himself and be the best him. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Which is very true. But at the same time, the Pirates are going to roll on opening day likely with Nick Gonzalez at shortstop. Connor Griffin with an eye closed and 2 different shoes on is better than Nick Gonzalez could dream of being. So why not just put Connor Griffin out there? You don't have a better option. Like, you got another guy, like you got another body,
right?
But he's not a better option than Connor Griffin. I'd rather see Connor Griffin go hit 185 in the month of April because that's all Nick Gonzalez is going to give you anyways.
Yeah, fair.
And just let the kid get the experience. Like, you got nothing to lose. You're the friggin' Pirates.
Right.
Like, you got nothing to lose. You got no better options. Like, just let the kid play.
No. Mike says if he wins Rookie of the Year, though, he won't get the bonus pick, and he will still get the full year of service time. Yeah. I guarantee if he signed an extension, he'd be up to start the year.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask: is if he had signed the extension, are we even having this conversation, or are they just going to say, "Look, it's yours, kid. Like, go get him."
Exactly. I'm with you, but the Pirates, man, the Pirates. But all right. Class A and Ortiz. Yes, we're bringing these guys back up. They're placed on unpaid leave while waiting for trial in November. So they still haven't officially banned these guys. They're still, on leave. What are your thoughts here, Harrison?
I'm not going to go on a rant like I did with you the other day, but like, why are we still tap dancing around these guys? There are provisions in their contracts that say if you do stupid things and get in trouble and make us look bad, conduct detrimental to the team, or the bad boy provisions of these contracts, the contract's void. How are these guys still getting paid? Like, how are you paying these guys all the way through when they were under federal investigation? And now they're into federal indictment phase. It's like their contracts should already have been torn up, and these guys are free agents. And who cares where they are? Like, we shouldn't have to put them on unpaid leave because their contract should have self-terminated when they got indicted by the feds. This whole thing is stupid, but it's MLB. I get MLB. They've got a tap dancer on this. The MLBPA wants to protect these guys in case something comes out and they didn't actually do it. But at the end of the day, like, their careers are over. I'm not sure you can slice it any other way. Their careers are over. All of this is irrelevant. We're just trying to play nice to not make anybody mad or get sued. But it's over. Like, the fat lady has been singing. This is done.
Yeah. This is all the MLB union, for sure. Players union. This has the players union written all over it. Hey, you can't completely terminate my guy until he's found guilty on this charge. Right? So that's all it is. It's exactly what you said. It is the MLB playing nice in the sandbox with the players union. So they're like, okay, well, we'll put you on unpaid leave here, but just know that the contract's going to be torn up when you're found guilty in November. So, and the details coming out is Class A was the ringleader here, and he strung along Ortiz. So he went to Ortiz one time, was like, hey, buddy, I know you're making a start in the second inning. Throw a ball on your first pitch, and I'll give you a cut of what I'm going to bring in. So that's how kind of Ortiz, the details that I've read, Ortiz got kind of sucked into this. But it is what it is. It's dumb. It's dumb. But
it is dumb. And some of these comments in chat have me laughing. Like, Curtis, I'll bet you if they lose the case, double or nothing. And Opie, this is a great point. They're getting treated lighter than Bauer, and Bauer was not guilty. Like, everything was, he was found not guilty. Even all the civil crap got discharged.
But Harrison, but he wasn't civil with the MLB
Well, no.
before this happened.
And that's the difference. Like MLB couldn't wait to run his ass out of the league. And they did. Like they railroaded him so bad. Whether you like him or not, like, you can't argue the fact that like he got railroaded pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
These guys are getting like the velvet glove treatment because everybody's freaking afraid. But yet Bauer got absolutely pushed out the door, kicked out the door, thrown as far. I mean, they chucked that dude to the side as fast as they possibly could, to the point where like when he came back, like they ended up they got slapped on the wrist for the suspension. They had to pay him a bunch of money to make him whole. Like MLB screwed up. They screwed up real bad with Bauer and got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And yet now these guys are getting the velvet glove treatment because they're just afraid to do something wrong.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think the trial is set for November, where they're it's like 60 something counts, but up to 300. Like they're still actively investigating it. So it's just insane. But
Yeah,
we will,
as we said, like there's definitely something bigger here, and what they're finding is there's something way bigger here.
yeah.
What we don't know is, are there any other players involved
At the moment? Yeah, absolutely not. All right, so this is the segment that we're gonna kind of like do every week. We're gonna, we've been doing a chat. We have a chat fantasy baseball going on. So every week we'll do kind of like a recap of fantasy baseball, because the week ends on the Sunday going into the next week. So this is kind of the spot. I just wanted to put it in here to let you guys know that Sunday nights, in this kind of segment is where we'll do like a recap of fantasy baseball for the week. So kind of cool there. Excited to get that
going. You guys can laugh at me losing every week because that's what I do.
Yep.
Last year I was in second place in the league, and then I lost like 14 straight weeks and got eliminated. It was brutal. So you guys can come laugh with me.
Right. So on a serious note, this one really affected our community. A lot of you guys know Cap and J-Ro. He has been the backbone of this show for 3.5 years, Harrison. He's been on our chat every show.
I think he was listener or watcher number one. Like,
yeah,
he's the OG of the OGs.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we lost him last Thursday to cancer. We all know somebody that's been affected by cancer in their life. It sucks. It's unreal. But his wife sent us an incredible message, about how much we meant to him and everybody in the chat meant to him. She said they went on a trip to Hawaii, and he was like, hold on, I got to tune in. So he went on vacation and still tuned in. But we have, as listeners on this show and the host, it was absolutely incredible to have Cap'n be this community. Like he was the reason our show kind of grew into this.
Yeah.
Like to this open forum type thing. And we owe so much to him that we can't repay. He was our chat bouncer. Like that's how he kind of started, and people would just come in and start railing us, and Captain would just be like, this is a baseball podcast. Like, no, sorry. Like go somewhere else.
we would joke there's a little extra nothing in his paycheck this week for all the work that he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one hurts. And I was telling my wife, and we talked about it before we went on the air, Nick, I don't know his actual name.
Yeah.
I've never met him. But I feel like I lost a friend. And that's the part of this that hurts. And it's the beauty and the sadness of this community. The beauty of this community is I've never met most of you guys, and probably never will. I'd like to believe that somewhere along the line we'll all catch a game together, but you're all friends. Like I view you all as friends. Captain lived across the country from me, never met him, but like every, twice a week, I knew he was going to be there and we were going to talk baseball. And it hit me really hard the other night when I got the message, because again, I don't even know his actual name because we just kind of go by screen name. But he's wearing our very first t-shirt. But I felt like I lost a friend, and it was weird because obviously not something we've dealt with yet. But I think that's the beauty of this community is that although we don't know each other and we don't, we may never meet, I still feel like we have those bonds where we're just a bunch of friends hanging around talking baseball twice a week.
Yeah, and we owe so much to I can't even talk right now. We owe so much to Captain because he set that tone early for us and was there every show. And sometimes it was for 5 minutes just to check in and be like, hey guys, checking in, saying hi. I got stuff going on. Be like, cool, good to see you, Captain. And then there's other days, man, he would just have us in stitches, just rolling. You guys know all of like the one-liners he'd throw in there. I mean,
Yep.
so funny.
A
He will
legend.
be, yeah, he will be thoroughly missed. And the thoughts are with his family. And he is going to be with us every single show. It was just absolutely, it was heartbreaking. And Harrison, you said it so well, man. We care about everybody in the chat here. You guys spend so much time with us every week, and we don't take that for granted. And that's why it hits hard, right?
Yep.
We haven't met, and you guys mean a lot to us. So it just, yeah, thank you for everything. It was absolutely incredible.
Yep. And
but
I just, like you said, I there's no way to ever fully thank Captain for the impact that he had on this show, this community, where we've gone. He was, you talk about the glue guys in sports. Captain
yeah,
was our glue guy.
for sure. So Thursday, in honor of Captain, I am going to be on. I'm sure Harrison will. Are you going to be on too? Probably in and out here, there.
Yeah, I'll probably in and
That's
out throughout the day. I got some stuff going on, but I'm gonna try to jump in and out as I can.
cool. So I am going to be on from first pitch, first game, 1:15 until the Mariners game is over. Now I understand that is a 12-hour marathon. I am here for it. So I asked his family if we could do something for them. And she goes, in true Captain spirit, I want you guys to see if you can raise money for a local sports organization. So Harrison and I are going to set that up. And Thursday, that's what we're going to do in honor of Captain. We are going to raise money for a local organization over there in Oregon. And I will be on all day, plugging that to make sure that we can do right. Like we can do something as a community to show our support. I think that would be absolutely incredible. So like I said, I'll be on for 12 hours on Thursday, just watching the opening day game. So we'll be here talking baseball and raising money for a good cause. So just in honor of Captain and everything he brought, we definitely deserve to show him some appreciation. So
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could raise enough money to bring baseball to Portland because that's all he ever wanted. But I don't think
yes,
we
it
can get
was.
quite that far.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens. YouTube might start pushing us if we're on for 12 hours straight. So we will see what happens. But again, thanks, Cap. You will forever be part of this show and a huge part of who we are and what we do. So thank you for everything.
Yeah, and please on Thursday when we're on there, just chit chatting, like drop a Captain story, share a one liner that stuck with you. There's so many good ones.
There is for sure. All right. Let's try to recover a little bit here and finish out the show here.
Transition back.
Yeah. All right. So out of left field discussion topics.
All right. So I went a little bit more newsy this week because there was stuff going on. It's and some interesting stuff going on. So let's dive into this. So we talked about Team USA coming up short in the WBC again, another 1-run loss. And I took this picture of Judge and DeRosa intentionally because, they catch a lot of flack for where Team USA fell short. So my kind of open-ended question to you, Nick, and to chat is, where does Team USA go from here? What is missing? Like, how do they get over the hump?
I hmm, I don't know if they ever get over the hump, unless it's by accident. Honestly, um, I don't know what this team needs. Like, I really don't. Did DeRosa mismanage? Yes, but like his mismanagement didn't necessarily cost them the championship. I don't think. I mean, maybe if you nitpick it, sure, right? He's kind of set a bad tone about thinking they had already clinched, and
Clinch.
they didn't. Um, so that kind of sets a bad tone. I think the lineup is always going to be in question because they lost, right? If that lineup shows up
Mm.
the next night against the same pitcher and they put up 5 runs, no one's talking about it, right? No one's talking about the lineup he threw out there. No one's talking about Cal Raleigh sitting on the bench with 60 homers, right? Baseball is weird, and it comes down to one game. If that's a 7-game series, what's the result? Does Venezuela still win? Maybe. Does the USA have a better chance? Maybe. You just don't know. Baseball is hard. It can't be played like football. Like one game determines it. And this is the reason
Mm.
why, right? Where do they go from here though? Man, I don't know. I really don't. I don't see Mark DeRosa coming back. I don't. And it's mostly not because of the lineup he rolled out in the championship game. I think it's because of the tone he set before the Italy game. Like they're all partying, they're all hungover coming into Italy. They get smoked, and he says those comments on social media about, oh, we're gonna rest guys, we're gonna give some guys a chance to play. Well, dude, you're not in the quarterfinals yet. Like you're not out of pool play. So that sets a bad tone for the rest of the series. And then maybe that's why USA tightened up like they did. Because now they're like, oh man, now we got to save DeRosa's butt. Right? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of factors there, but where did they go? Harrison, I don't have an answer for you instead of trying to get some new blood in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's, for me, I go back to, like, I looked at Venezuela and those guys were, you know, they got flags everywhere. They've, Palencia is crying before getting the final out. Acuna can only talk about the fact that he made his people proud and that was important to him. I think to a lot of these teams, it is about country. Like it's the pride of where you're from, because in many cases you're from a smaller place. You're from a place that doesn't have all the benefits of the US. You grew up poor in a poor country. There's a lot of pride on the line. I think the USA guys come in with a very professional demeanor because they're all pros. Um and they're all elite level pros. And I don't know that the USA piece means as much. I think you got guys that just don't have that same connection. Now you've got guys like, Gunnar Henderson played for Team USA many times as an amateur. Paul Skeens, Team USA many times. A lot of these guys have done the Team USA drill as amateurs, where it was a little bit different. But I think for some of these guys, it just doesn't mean as much. They're there to do a job. They're there to do something. They're not there because the country is they don't feel the weight of the country on their shoulders. They just feel like they're there to do a job. And it's a very professional atmosphere, where these other countries were very much pumped up for, you know, being there to put their country out in front of the world and show that they are, they're to be taken seriously. I
Yeah,
don't think there's the same passion as other countries.
I think your point about where they come from is a great one. How many guys on Team USA really had to face adversity in their life? I'm not talking about on the baseball field. How many of the other teams in this WBC have faced some sort of adversity in their life? Probably a lot of these guys.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you just look at Randy Arozarena. He had to defect from Cuba to get to Mexico in order to get to the USA to play baseball, right? Is there anybody on USA that had to do that?
No.
Probably not, right? So, like, there is a different demeanor for sure on all of the other teams that come from adversity. And adversity translates onto the baseball field, right? How many of those other countries were down? They were out. Oh, they're not supposed to win. And here they come. They put up a 6th spot in the bottom of the 5th while being down by 4, right? Like, that shows that they can deal with adversity and take pride in it, right? That's the difference. And that's why, am I saying that USA was flat and not excited to be there? They played flat and they were probably excited to be there, but it just meant that much more from other teams that come from tough backgrounds, like you said. And I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's. I think that when you boil it all down, Team USA lost to Japan because they kind of ran out of pitching. They just didn't have the depth of pitching. They went out and fixed that. They had really good pitching this go around, but yet the offense took a step back. And you had a lot of guys that kind of gave you nothing. You know, you had Cal Raleigh gave you nothing. Byron Buxton gave you nothing. Bregman gave you basically nothing. Harper, until the 8th inning of the championship game, had given you nothing. You know, you had a lot of guys, you know, and Judge had moments, but he also had big gaps in between. And I think Mike made the point back here. You know, it's 7 games. Like,
right.
It's short. Like, if you're cold, the whole thing's over before you get out of it. And there's definitely something to be said for that. But I do think that if you had a team that was more balanced, that had more of your contact type guys, they were better mixed in, I think you would have had a better result. Because I look at a guy like Bryce Terang. Bryce Terang was great all tournament, just putting the ball in play. You know, it wasn't a whole bunch of strikeouts. It was just put the ball in play, see what happens. And I think that that's what a lot of these other countries do. Is I mean, the DR is a different animal because that's you know, they're similar to the US in the sense it was all pros, but the difference is, you know, for these guys, their story is my only life was to get out of the DR and come to the US and play baseball. So to go back and represent my country means a lot because that's where I started.
Right.
I just think you've got an offense that was built, you know, like the Yankees, to just try to hit home runs. And when they couldn't do that, they didn't have any other options.
Yeah.
I mean, and you even look at the DR game. That was 3 solo home runs in a 2-1 game. That was a Major League Baseball game. That's how Major League Baseball is played now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, John says Cal isn't missing no pass ball, and he's definitely throwing that guy out at second with that lineup and him batting 7th. And no hits doesn't mean anything to me. Cal had a 9+ WAR last season. He's the best catcher in the world, hands down. I'm not saying Cal Raleigh's not the best catcher right now, right? He did have an uncharacteristic pass ball in a key moment when he was in. It just wasn't a good stretch for Cal. So I don't blame Mark DeRosa for going to Will Smith in that situation. Cal was struggling.
Bad.
Mightily, right? I get the argument that, yes, you left a guy that hit 60 bombs on the bench in a clear pinch hitting situation in the bottom of the 9th. Like, I can go either way with that argument, right? Could Cal run into one? Sure. Has he even run into a base hit yet? Like, no. So, like, which trend are you hopping on at the moment? Probably the one that's currently happening. I'm just saying. But so I don't necessarily call that call into question. But you're right. When you have 5 guys that aren't producing, what do you do? It's hard. But Curtis, this is a good one. Give me a proven World Series winning veteran manager and a young run producing team. All for it.
Well, and that's where I think that, you know, I made the comment earlier. Let's not just make this an obvious, like, oh, we're just going to go grab the best guys. Like, let's actually build a team that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, let's look at what you need. Like Trey Turner, he might have been a good fit out there. I don't know, but he was been on the previous ones and had really good runs. Didn't get a phone call. Now, I'm not upset Bobby Witt was there, but it doesn't mean having Trey Turner on that team wouldn't have helped you.
2023, he was an animal.
He was a savage.
It was crazy.
It's like, I think that I think that USA is taking the approach of I'm going to just go get the best players I can get and figure it out. But maybe we should go build the best team and not have to figure it out.
Right.
Like, let's balance this a little bit. Let's get a better mix of contact and power and speed and run production, and not just stack the lineup with strikeout guys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they did.
Yeah. Fair. And Mike, this is also a fair point. I think the U.S. guys have pride; they just show it and show it differently. But I think you need a higher energy manager or players to keep them from pressing. I would agree with that. Like, yeah, and I'm not trying to say that USA didn't care, right? Because we know that they did.
We heard the guys talk about like how big a deal it was.
Right. But it's a lot of pressure on them too, right? It is on home soil. These countries are coming in and visiting US, even though they might be the home team or whatever for a certain game. Like, this is still on US soil. So it's still a lot of pressure. I get it. But yeah, I don't know. And Opie, we have talked in and out about this one. We don't know what the Olympics is going to look like in 2028. But what will be interesting is how Team USA does in the Olympics without the pros. Now, Harper and Judge have both come out saying they want to play in 2028 for the Olympics.
Yep.
I mean Harper
was talking about the Olympics during the WBC because he couldn't help himself.
Facts. I mean, it is kind of cool to be like, you know, I am an Olympian. I was an Olympian at one point, right? I mean, that's the highest pinnacle you can reach as an athlete. Like, so I understand it. It's going to be interesting to see how MLB handles it, because after no baseball in 2027, now you're going to ask these guys to take a 2-week break in the middle of the summer. What does that do for owners, players, anything like that? I don't know what it looks like. I'm not even going to venture a guess, to be honest, because I don't know what it's going to look like. So interesting. I'm with you.
I have no idea, but I feel like we saw Team USA come in as a heavy favorite and fall short. And I know sometimes being the underdog is easier than being the favorite. I mean, there's definitely truth to that because the pressure is not on you. But I feel like this team just continues to, the game gets tight and so do they. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of who they are.
And Ryan, this is it. Harrison hit it right on the head earlier. Like, it's just long balls. That's all USA baseball is at the moment. That's all MLB baseball is at the moment.
One trick pony.
Right. Stop relying on the 3-run bomb. Question marks? Yeah. I think that's how the league is being played right now. That's the kind of game that they carried into the WBC. And we lost by the 3-run bomb, right? Live or die by the 3. They died by the 3. That's what it is.
Yeah, and again, hats off to Venezuela. They were great in that game.
Yeah.
They came out there with a much higher level of energy, a much higher level of intensity right out of the gate. Like they showed up ready to fight. And I think, Team USA rolled in, they opened up the briefcase, they got all comfortable and went about it very professionally. Whereas Venezuela, like, they were loud, they were chanting, they were singing, there were flags everywhere. Like, this was an event. This was a party with a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Where for USA, it was just another day in the office.
Yeah.
Again, not saying they don't care. Just the approaches are so different.
Yep. How many more moments does Aaron Judge have to be in before we start talking about the negative clutch factor?
Oh, I think we're there.
Okay.
I think we're there. I mean, that was literally, every comment I saw was basically that. Like, Judge is the best player I've ever seen in my entire life that I don't want at the plate late in the game. I must have seen hundreds of those all over social media the day after. Especially like in DR game when it was tight. But I think we're at that point where I think fans and the media are openly talking about the fact, like, this is a guy that consistently can't get it done in big moments. And I think there's some level of unfairness to that because he's been in a lot of them.
Right.
Doesn't have a great track record, but a lot of guys don't. But but also the fact that he's Aaron Judge. Like in those big moments, he's getting absolutely nothing, more so than anybody else. Like he is getting pitched differently. He's getting approached differently. It is tough to be considered one of the best players on the planet and to be there in a big moment because you're getting somebody's absolute best.
Yeah, Mike, I was just going to bring this up. It started on this show last playoffs, and then he shut you up for one game, Nick. Yeah. I literally said it. I was like, this guy can't hit in a big moment. And then what does he do? He just walks off the Sox in the playoffs. So it was one game. Everybody jumped down my throat because I think we released that reel. But he's been non-existent. But he's been non-existent since, right? So like, it's really hard because even as a Sox fan, I respect the hell out of this dude and the type of baseball player he is. He is unreal.
Incredible to watch.
I wish I had the talent that was possessed in his pinky finger. Like that's how talented this dude is. But there is that David Ortiz factor that I have in my mind. Like, is that an unfair pedestal to put anybody on? Yeah. I mean, Ortiz was a different type of clutch hitter. Right. But it's almost every time with Aaron Judge when there needs to be a big hit, it's nowhere to be found. I mean, not like staring at a hanging breaking ball going down the middle for strike 3. Like,
yeah,
it's tough. It's tough to watch as a baseball fan to see somebody of that caliber of a player to not even come through. Heck, once out of every 10 times. Because he's below that for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So the hard part is I'm going to make an unpopular comparison here with Judge. Aaron Judge's career playoff stats. 236 batting average, 17 home runs, 41 RBIs, 822 OPS, 346 OBP. Not terrible. Let me give you somebody else's career playoff stats. Batting average of 248, 11 home runs, 24 RBIs, 940 OPS. So slightly better, but not great. Those are Shohei's postseason stats.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Aaron Judge gets unfairly pigeonholed in this when other guys have track records.
I agree. However, when did Shohei hit those? It's not
agreed.
It's not the overall lines. Listen, you could be hitting 500 with 50 homers and 150 knocked in. But if it's in a time that it doesn't matter, like that doesn't help your team. Right? Shohei's hit some huge home runs in the playoffs for the Dodgers at key moments. Judge hasn't. One. He's got one. Right? That's the difference is when those hits are happening. Not so many, because those are all the stats that people kept throwing at me. Oh, well, Judge has 17 postseason homers. It's not him. It's the Yankees' fault. Well, some of it is, but 16 of those homers are solo shots with, down by 3 already. So like they don't matter. That's where I am with him. But anyways, we got way off track there. But
yeah. No, but I do. I mean, there are other guys with track records that don't get the same rap.
I agree.
But I do believe we are at that point where he's been in enough big moments, and being with the Yankees doesn't help where they haven't won with him being there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the spotlight shines brighter on him.
Talk about
it's
pressure.
It's just the nature of it.
Yeah. You think he's got pressure on Team USA. He's got more pressure when he heads back to the Bronx every day.
Yeah. I mean, Team USA probably felt like a vacation than being a Yankee.
Facts. Absolute facts. All right. Next one, Harrison.
Here we go. So MLB has signed an agreement with Polymarket. And because of that, at the same time, they had to sign an agreement with the CFTC around the sharing of information related to this. So that's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So Polymarket is effectively, think of it like a stock market for outcomes. You can go online and basically buy shares or stock in yes, no outcomes, game, win loss, things like that. Another form of sports betting. So MLB has now signed this agreement with Polymarket. It's worth potentially up to $300 million over the term of it. It's a lot of money for MLB. But MLB is now yet again getting into bed with a different form of sports gambling, to the point where they now have to sign an agreement with one of the actual regulatory bodies because the type of sports betting they're getting into. So my question is, has MLB gone too far into gambling?
Class A and Ortiz are not guilty at this point. Let them off the hook. I mean, this is talking out of both sides of your mouth if I've ever seen it. This is unbelievable. How can you condemn guys for doing this, but you're literally currently in bed with numerous partners? Like, I have no sympathy over any of the guys. Heck, let them all bet. I don't care at this point. This is unreal. You can't be that hypocritical and expect different outcomes. It's stupid. I hate it.
No. Yeah. So quick summary. So Polymarket's the official prediction market exchange vendor for MLB. MLB's got this agreement with the Commodities Futures Trading Commission where they're going to share information confidentially to maintain integrity, make sure everything's above board. So MLB, in order to do this, MLB had to basically sign on with regulators to share information to be able to prove that this is not in any way jeopardizing the integrity of the game or the integrity of the betting. Because this works more like a stock exchange than like a FanDuel. And it is worth a boatload of money. But it is another official partnership where they'll use MLB's, they'll use logos and trademarks and be able to actually take bets on baseball activity to open up to an even wider market. They've not mentioned, is there going to be advertising in ballparks or on telecasts? I wouldn't be shocked if we see Polymarket show up. But it is like you said, it's MLB is now getting into bed with yet another betting partner. They've now have gambling covered from every possible angle, I believe. So much so that the MLB is now under agreement with regulatory bodies. Like, that's how deep into gambling MLB is. And this is the same league that years ago had said they'd never touch this. They weren't going to go near it. It wasn't good for the integrity of the game. And then it was like a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit. Now MLB's gone full on into gambling, which for $300 million, sure. I mean, go for it. Spread that money around the league, make everybody some more money. But you cannot continue to talk about the fact you don't want it in the game and then go sign these deals. You keep inviting the fox into the hen house, and then you're surprised when things like the Class A situation happen. This is only going to get worse.
Do as I say, not as I do, Harrison.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take their money, but you guys can't get involved with this. It's like, well, what the hell? Like, this stuff is everywhere.
Yeah, this game has integrity. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we're with you, Curtis. Like, it's unreal. And Mike, yeah, the genie is out of the bottle, has been forever. My guess, this will let them better police so you don't have another Class A. And maybe to a certain effect, but you just have another partner in bed that could possibly bring further issues for your players and personnel. Yes, 300 million, great. It just, come on now, dumb.
Yeah, and Manfred took the approach of, it's important to protect the integrity of the game. That's our top priority. We want to engage the community and engage with fans on all different platforms where they are. And like he said, all the right things, but at the end of the day, it's one more cash grab for MLB. It's one more betting partner. It's gambling coming that much closer into MLB. MLB is now registering with regulatory bodies because of it. And, MLB is going to have other agreements with other of these exchange-rated trading partners because they're going to have to allow the free of all this information. MLB is now effectively like a market maker of sorts where they're in the middle of this, helping to build and create gambling markets. Like, this is not just like, hey, FanDuel, slap our logo on that. No, like, we're now sharing information with the CFTC. We're now helping establish markets. Like, this is a way deeper step into gambling than I ever saw MLB taking. Is it good for the game and the fan? I mean, I should say, is it good for the game? No. Is it good for the fan? Maybe. But I don't know that a lot of your diehard fans are sitting there going on Polymarket and betting on who's going to win today.
I,
My guess
I
is these are not your typical clientele that are on these platforms.
right. I'm a diehard baseball fan. I've never bet on baseball other than the little preseason bets we did at the beginning of last year, right? So I just like I gotta have money to gamble money, first of all, and I don't. So like it's just I'm still gonna watch baseball. All you're doing is hurting me because I don't do sports betting, right? So you are hurting the integrity of my game that I'm watching. Now, at this point, I want all prop bets to be able to be put on the wall in the dugouts. The players can choose which ones they bet, and they just bring the money to the umpire, and then he divvies it up at the end of the game. I mean, let's just start that.
He's running the book behind home plate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
Well,
we have a computer to call balls and strikes, so at least you can do is the books.
well, and fans in theory can sit there in the stands from their cell phone and place a bet. But when are you going to see the little like kiosk show up in the walkway to go and place a bet? Like, we're going to turn this into like the horse track or the dog track where you can just go to the window and place a bet during the game. Like how much farther down this path does MLB go? And at what point do they lose complete control over policing this? Because I feel like we're pretty close to that part.
Yeah, it's already, listen, the tickets are already astronomical to get in. And once you get in there, and if people can just start making more cash, you're going to drive casual fans and diehard fans out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Do I think they'll get rid of 40,000 casual fans? No, probably not. But it will turn into horse betting, just like you said, 1,000%.
Yeah. And are those
Crazy.
are those the fans you want to draw closer to the game? Like baseball to me, baseball was always the NFL is different. NFL has been in gambling forever. Like they were always there.
Right.
Baseball was always kind of like the family friendly option, the fan friendly option. And I feel like MLB is kind of throwing that perception to the wind now and saying, well, geez, we're just going to go get ours. And, is that the fan you want to attract? Is that the fan you want to encourage? I don't think that fits what MLB always has been, but I also think that at this point, MLB is taking whatever's in front of it.
If you bring in that type of demographic and you bet on Paul Skeens to have 10 Ks and go 5 innings, and he goes 4 innings with 8 Ks, what's to say we don't have another situation, heaven forbid, I hope this doesn't happen, where the father-son jumps the gate and goes after the first base coach in Chicago? You remember that?
I do remember that. That was wild.
It was wild, but like you are inviting those type of people into your ballpark, into your game, that are so far in the hole, and they're gonna keep going until they're so hard up that they hit rock bottom. Like I think you're putting players at risk here. I really do. If you keep going down this road, you're putting players at risk.
Yep.
That's my thoughts on
it. We already have players that get death threats when the team doesn't win.
Exactly.
Like, how much farther does that go? And have you ever sat with somebody who's got a bunch of bets on a game? Like they can't sit still, they're moody, they're yelling. Like, is that the fan you want in the ballpark? I don't think that's who you want in the ballpark. I don't think you want to continue to draw that crowd any closer to baseball. But here we are, getting into yet another sports betting arena and going that much deeper. There's going to reach a point where MLB has taken this too far, and I just hope that we don't realize that too late.
Man, it pisses me off. Can we change the subject?
Moving on.
Thank you. Man. Oh, another great one. That's
all right. So, as we all know, the Padres are basically up for sale, and they're talking to potential buyers. The Padres were valued somewhere around $3 billion a year or two ago. Apparently, they've discussed an offer with somebody potentially at $3.1 billion or higher, which would make them the 10th most valuable franchise in baseball. The belief is they could see a final offer as high as $3.5 billion, which would put them in the top, I think, 8 organizations value-wise. So with that in mind, are the Padres really worth $3.5 billion? Are they a top 10 major league franchise right now?
Well, it's funny, Harrison, because the initial evaluation was at 6.5 billion, but they realized that the MLB team comes with the purchase. So, no, I mean, it's a gorgeous ball. It's a gorgeous ballpark, right? I
Incredible.
mean, do am I going to drop my 3.5 billion that I got in my right pocket here on the Padres? Hell no. I'll find somewhere else to go with it. I mean, if someone's out there, like, obviously evaluating everything they got, then yeah. I mean, these sports franchises now are insane. Is 3.5 billion? I don't know. This one's a tough one for me. They're in a tough market, right? They're not in a very big market. You're purchasing a lot of issues. How much money are you going to have to put in it? If they're worth 3.5 billion, I'm not purchasing it. I'll hold off. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's a lot to like about the San Diego Padres. There's you're in San Diego, first of all. Beautiful new ballpark. You've got an organization that's very much kind of in this weird spot of big, ugly, long contracts, and a minor league pipeline that's pretty empty, and a GM who you just extended who maybe hasn't been the best steward of your organization. But there's a lot to like. Now, keep in mind, Steve Cohen paid $2.4 billion for the Mets. Now they were a mess when he bought them. So that's part of why he got the deal that he got. But this would be record setting for MLB to have a franchise sell this high. There are many teams worth more than this. They just haven't sold. But, Steve Cohen currently holds the high water mark at $2.4 billion for the Mets. Yeah. There's a lot of other things that come with the Padres. They have events businesses and stuff like that are all tied to this, and the side their family's got stuff going on and all that. So, but the team on its own, I find it really tough to buy, like you said, a team like this that's in the current condition that it's in, with a boatload of long-term contracts that are not good contracts. You got payroll tied up for a while. You got a minor league system that's empty. You got a front office that seems to be a little bit in disarray. You just extended the guy who basically traded away your whole future. There's a lot of things that make me go, man, the timing of this is not good. No. So to me, no, I don't view the Padres right now as a top 10 organization in baseball. I view them as a small market with problems, and I don't know if that's one I want to run to. Now, if I'm MLB, I want to see this happen so bad, because then my franchise price or my expansion price tag at $2.1 billion seems really cheap. And then people might line up to buy one thinking they can make it worth this, but that market does not justify a $3.5 billion value.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Highlights says I say we put all our money together and buy the Padres. We tried to do that for the Twins when they were up for sale real quick, and we scraped together $20. Just a little short there. But 3.5 million dumpster fires. I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like I'd just be setting my money on fire. Right? Because, like, I have so much more work I'd have to do to get that organization back on track. Like, it wouldn't be my choice to spend my 3.5 billion on, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, and so, like, the reason I mentioned 3.1 billion is that Forbes just released their 2 days ago, they released their current valuations of all these teams and their revenue from last year and operating income. So the Padres were at 3.1 billion according to Forbes, 1 year change of 59%. Not sure what would cause a 59% change in your value, but that's a pretty substantial jump. But last year they had revenue of 452 million and they lost $1 million on that. So call it break even. But on $452 million in revenue, they couldn't make any money.
Right.
So Do you want to plop $3.5 billion down for an organization that doesn't make any money?
No
Like
thanks.
that. Last time I checked, that's a return of 0. You could just go invest in the S&P 500 and earn your historical average of 6 to 7%. Like, why the hell would you do this? But I think that gets into the larger issue around baseball of the economic model is broken, and most of these teams don't make a lot of money. And the ones that
Right.
do make a decent amount of money, it's because their payroll's really, really low.
Right. So, I mean, that's the thing. If owners want to sell and no one's going to buy because no one wants that headache, and that's the deal across the league, right? A lot of teams lost money last year. How do you fix it? How do you fix it so these teams stop losing money?
And the only, it comes back to luxury taxes, salary caps, revenue share models, all the stuff that the league can't seem to get, I would say, kind of unanimous decisions on. It's the same battle we've been having all along. You've got very different markets with very different economics, but they're all trying to compete in the same way, and you just can't do that. You can't have the Padres making $450 million and the Dodgers making $850 million and be able to compete side by side.
Right.
Just can't do it. And I'll get into this Forbes stuff a little bit later. We should probably make it a segment for the future, but there's some massive concerns and disparity in the financials of Major League Baseball teams. Some of these teams will never compete. They will never compete again.
Yeah. So Tommy brings it up. Do we think Major League Baseball would do better with a salary cap? Players aside, what the players want aside, would baseball benefit across the board for owners, for players, for, parity? Would a salary cap do that?
It's the only way you can provide some control and level the playing field when you've got this much disparity. So, like, for example, the Dodgers made $850 million last year income. The Dodgers made $450 million. So unless you're going to somehow find $400 million to give the Padres to put them on the same playing field as the Dodgers, the only other option is to lock down the cost side of this to make it competitive for everybody based on where, regardless of revenue, here's a number you can compete at. And that's exactly what the NFL did with the salary cap. Some of these teams in the NFL make absurd amount of money because they can't spend any more than a certain amount. And they, the Cowboys made like $600 million last year profit because they make over $1 billion in revenue, but they can't spend more than the salary cap. So like Jerry Jones just has to put it in his pocket. Now he invested in other things. They've got incredible facilities and blah, blah, blah. And he paid a lot of that out of his own pocket. Cool. But the only way you can control the product on the field is to create a level financial playing field, short of taking revenue from other teams and giving it to the other guys, the Robin Hood model. That's the only piece you can control.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that's the only way where all sides can win, right? The owners can actually start making money again, which is why they bought these teams in the first place. You can spread the wealth with free agents across the league, right? Your Colorado Rockies can get a free agent. Your Florida Marlins can get a free agent. Like all 30 teams could be in on free agency versus the top 4 or 5. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So the last point on this is that to this point, the Padres have gotten 5 different bids from 5 different parties. And one of the most interested parties is the current Golden State Warriors owner, Joe Lacob, who is very interested in adding this to his sports portfolio. What's interesting is these to him are trophies. He's not looking to make money on these. He's collecting trophies, basically. This is a trophy organization to own. I could say I'm the Padres owner. He's not worried about the financials of it because he's got plenty of money. That is a different type of owner than the one we have in most markets.
Yeah. Crazy. But what does that look like if you eventually get 30 trophy owners? Do they care?
No, that's when that's when payroll explodes because nobody cares. They're just going to shovel money at this thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the alternative, is that you have a bunch of Dodgers ownership groups that just throw money at it.
Mm-hmm.
In which case it becomes a runaway train of of salaries, and I don't know, maybe that's a level the playing field. You just get a bunch of guys with stupid money that can just throw it at the team.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. And the last one you got before trivia.
All right, last one I got is opening day. So it's right around the corner. Which matchup do we have on opening day would you consider to be the best? So I'll give you a second to think about it. So we kick off with Yankees at Giants, and then we move on to the Pirates at the Mets. We're going to see Skeens against Peralta. Then we have White Sox at Brewers. I'm sure that's going to be a barn burner. You've got the Nationals at the Cubs. You got the Twins at the Orioles. Joe Ryan versus Trevor Rogers. That'll be an interesting one. You've got the Red Sox visiting the Reds. Crochet versus Andrew Abbott. That could be a fun one. Angels at Astros. You've got Tigers at Padres. That could be very interesting. I don't think San Diego's announced a starter yet, but you've got Skubal for sure.
You've
got the Rays at the Cardinals.
The Padres are going to go Pivetta or King. They just haven't decided.
Yeah, they've narrowed it down. They just haven't picked one yet. You got the Rangers at the Phillies, Evaldi versus Sanchez. You got the D-backs at the Dodgers, Gallen versus Yoshi. You've got the Guardians at the Mariners, Bybee versus Gilbert. That could be a good one. You got the Athletics at Blue Jays, Severino versus Gosman.
That's Friday, though, right?
Yeah, that's still technically their opening day.
Yeah.
Rockies at Marlins, Freeland versus Alcantara, Royals at Braves, Ragans versus Sale. And that rounds out all the opening day starts.
Which is the best matchup? Is it Yankees at Giants? Opening night, Wednesday night?
Yes, right? It is Yankees at Giants, Fried versus Logan Webb.
That could be just a good one to see just Fried and Webb go at it. Honestly, that's a pretty good opening night matchup. And to see if that Giants team actually can hang a little bit. I know it's opening day. Anything can happen. And pitchers don't go usually the full length. Like, I get it all. Athletics and Blue Jays, that's a good matchup for sure. Flat cheese.
Yep.
I am interested for selfish reasons to see the Diamondbacks Dodgers game because I want to see. I just want a measuring stick to see where the Diamondbacks actually are.
Yep.
I want to see what they look like, just because they're my second favorite team. So I just kind of want to see where they are. But Red Sox Reds, for obvious reasons, I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup. Andrew Abbott's good. Crochet is always fun to watch. But I think the best matchup for me is probably that Yankees-Giants game, opening night, honestly.
Yeah, I think the best pure matchup is Yankees-Giants because you got Fried and Webb, and those guys are going to deal. It's going to be a fun one. The two that I'm most interested in watching, though, is I'm really interested in watching the Pirates at the Mets. Mm-hmm. I want to see who the Pirates are out of the gate. I also kind of want to see who the Mets are out of the gate. I want to see how that team looks when it matters. And the other one I'm interested in too is the Royals and the Braves. I think Ragans versus Sale will be a fun matchup. You know, guys that have kind of similar stuff, just at different points in their career. But more importantly, it's a good chance to check in on who are the Royals, and also what do the Braves have?
Right. Yeah.
A couple teams to me that are question marks.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm going to be on Thursday watching all of them. So you guys can definitely stop by and put your 2 cents in on how the games are going. But yeah, I'm starting with that Pirates Mets matchup at 1:15. So I'll be on a little bit before first pitch. And then I'll just be cycling through the games. So gonna be I'm excited about that. It's gonna be cool. So stop in, say hi. Let's see how the games are going.
A lot of baseball will be a good day.
Yep.
You have the Yankees the night before, Yankees Giants the night before, and then go right into the whole opening day slate.
Yep. Yeah, Tigers, Padres. Cleveland, Seattle is always a good series too. Yeah. So
Bybee versus Gilbert would be a good matchup.
Yeah. So those are good ones. Nice.
I definitely think there's a good slate. I think there's definitely
Yeah.
some. I would say disappointing matchups because you have to. Everybody's got to play.
Right.
So there's some games I'm probably going to skim past, but I think you've got a pretty good slate to start to kick it off.
Oh, and don't forget, if you have T-Mobile, you can redeem your free MLB TV on Tuesday. So do that. So you don't have to pay for MLB TV. So check that out if you are a T-Mobile carrier. That will be on the free giveaway Tuesdays.
That'll be awesome.
Yep.
It's such a good deal. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Flat cheese. I hope the Mets suck the first 2 months. They're only good for half of the season. I prefer it be the second half.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, if you're really gonna get one half, might as well get the second half.
Yep, that's fair.
I don't know what to expect with them. That's why I find that opening day matchup against the Pirates kind of interesting because it's a good chance to test the Pirates against a team that should be good.
And you're going against the best pitcher in the league, so
you are.
Yeah,
and Peralta's also no slouch, and it gives you a chance to see what that Pirates lineup has out of the gate too.
Yeah,
that Pirates lineup without Connor Griffin is not as imposing, but I think they're still going to be decent.
Yeah,
and I really want to see where they're at. I think that Pirates team is going to be good.
Yeah,
I hope.
I agree. Yeah, I hope. Yes, I'm with you.
So. I want the Pirates to be baseball's better when the Pirates are good. There's way too much history with that organization for them to continue to suck.
Yeah, like we were excited in the mid 2010s when McCutchen was starting to bring that team back to relevancy, and then they just fell off the table. So, crazy,
tough.
All right, on to MLB trivia to end the show. Harrison, what do you got for us tonight?
I've just got some straight trivia questions. I'm going to ask you a question and hopefully get an answer. I got a mixed bag here. I think I got some that are pretty deep pulls. I think I've got some that are layups. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, let's do it.
I got a couple in here, especially for our history buffs. So I hope Forrest hasn't gone anywhere. Or Michael. You guys might like these. So,
all right, let's
go. All right, first one. Who holds the record for most consecutive stolen bases without getting caught?
I do know this one because when I've been doing all my stolen base trivia, this name pops up. But I do know this one.
Yeah, this is one that has come up on the show once or twice. At least the player has.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's usually it's not Ricky Henderson. It's usually a guy that is, guessed when we have stolen base trivia. That's not Ricky.
Yep. And the ballpark in the background will help you figure out what team he was playing for when he did it.
Yep. Well, as I'm waiting for chat to I will let Harrison know. Yep, for sure. Wow, is Facebook on that much of a delay, or we just not know? Or it crashed?
I was going to say, I was just checking. It has not crashed.
Oh, well, that's good. It's not. It's not a guy.
Not the Reds.
No,
that's not Cincinnati in the background. Look for that big thing in the middle. This is big thing in the background. Oh, Lou Brock's a great guess.
Good guess, Curtis. Not Lou Brock.
It's not Lou Brock.
It's not Ozzie Smith. He also played for the Mariners, I'm pretty sure.
He played quite a few places.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, let's see. St. Louis, the Mets, the Royals, the Mariners, Reds, and Tigers is the career path.
Mike Reed, you are correct. He was on the Cardinals when he did it.
Yeah. Man.
Give Chad another few seconds, and then we'll give the answer.
Yeah, there it is. Vince Coleman, for sure.
Nailed it. Yeah, so Vince Coleman had 50 consecutive stolen bases between the 89 and 90 season.
Wild.
Yep. Or sorry, 89 and 90 seasons.
Right.
Yeah, 50 straight. That's that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all
If you
right.
like stolen bases.
Yeah. I don't think I've tried 50 stolen bases in my career. So there's that.
Yeah, no, I've not tried 50.
No.
Had no reason to.
Exactly.
All right. Twins question for all of our Twins fans that have been hanging around the chat. So, who holds the Twins record for career grand slams? This is a pretty good number.
I mean, it's gotta be this guy, I would imagine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For some reason, Morneau was popping into my head too, but I was like, no.
Yeah, there's several guys like right behind him.
And the most career Grand Slams period is A-Rod, correct?
Yes.
I think like 26 or something
I
like
was
that.
pretty sure
which
it's 26.
is insane.
A lot of grand slams.
It is Killebrew, Curtis. Nice job. Yeah.
Yep.
Curtis is 11.
It is Harmon Killebrew with 11. Pretty good number.
Do you have the list of the other guys right behind him?
Oh no, I don't. I had it when I was doing it, but I did not keep it.
That's all right. No biggie. Yeah, John Temple, Killebrew, Bobby Allison, not a bad guess. But yeah, Harmon Killebrew. Nice. All right.
All right. Who are the only two players in history to win League MVP, World Series MVP, and All-Star Game MVP in their careers? So not in the same season, but just over the course of their career, they won all three of these.
Same season would be nuts.
That'd be crazy. Let's talk about like the Grand Slam, the
the single season Grand Slam.
Like the golfers get. They win all the majors.
Yeah, like tennis too.
The ballpark in the background will help because both guys actually played here.
Oh, I got one for sure. The second one. All right. Well, I'll give you one.
Which one?
Oh, crap.
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely one. Jeter and Ripken's a good guess. I don't think it's him.
No.
Oh, because he didn't win World Series MVP, did he?
I don't believe so.
Brooks Robinson?
Brooks is one of them, yes.
Oh, so then I got the other one in the chat.
Yep. So Nick's got the other one. You guys have Brooks Robinson. So Brooks is one. Who is the other one?
I didn't think that Brooks won a league MVP. Huh. Yep, Brooks is right. John Temple, you got it. Man.
Yeah, Brooks won the MVP in 1962.
Okay. I was born in 63, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Oh, Ripken did in 83.
Oh, okay.
So then did he not get All-Star Game MVP the year he hit the home run in his last game?
I don't think
last All-Star game. I don't remember when that was. Joe Carter, not him. Think Orioles, think Reds. That might just give it away, but Murray's a great guess, not him. Not Tony Gwynn. This guy won MVP in each league.
That was a good trivia question back then.
Yeah.
When we did that one.
Mm-hmm.
The two players share a last name, which is weird.
Yes, it is Frank Robinson. Good.
There it is. Yeah, so Brooks and Frank Robinson.
So Cal got MVP in Seattle. That must have been that All-Star game, right? Because he hit the home run or whatever.
Yeah, he was a 2-time
That's
All-Star
pretty-
Game MVP.
but never World Series MVP.
Not the World Series MVP.
Yeah, gotcha. Nice,
Yep. So Brooks and Frank Robinson.
nice. That's a good one. Dang,
Yeah, pretty impressive.
that's pretty cool.
All right, since we've been talking a lot about contracts and money on this show, who was the first MLB player to earn $1 million in a single season?
I know this one for sure. It's almost like Kevin Brown with the
100
first,
million.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This one, yeah,
Yes, sir.
and probably deservedly so at that time.
Yeah, more than that. Like,
Yeah,
shatter the records.
yeah. Nolan Ryan's correct. Flat cheese. Yeah, nice. And John Temple. Yeah, absolutely. The Express.
Yeah, so he signed a 4-year, $4.5 million contract with the Houston Astros on November 19th of 1979. So 1980 was the first season somebody broke $1 million in baseball.
Crazy. And now we're talking about $1 billion. Like, could be a possibility for some of these guys.
Think about it for a minute. What would Nolan be worth today?
I can't fathom it.
What would you pay? What would you pay Nolan Ryan today? A guy that made every friggin' start there was, didn't miss time. Like, what is he worth today? I mean, holy crap.
Blew every Sid Finch. Yeah. Sid Finch should have made $1 million back in the day. That U-turn curveball.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I couldn't even put a price tag. That would be a kind of a fun show to go back and be like, hey, this market, Babe Ruth in his prime's a free agent at the end of 2026. What is his market?
He's like 60 million. I mean, where do you put him?
Right.
Is he still pitching? I mean, that's he's worth 70.
Does he stay with the Yankees? Does he go on free agency? I don't know.
He'd go to the Dodgers like everybody else.
That'd be kind of cool to like go back through history and see like what we thought these guys would be worth.
Babe Ruth would be worth $70 million a season with 60 of it deferred.
No, so he's a Dodger. Got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the first African American player? Hang on. Start over. Who was the first African American player inducted into the Hall of Fame who had not played in the Negro Leagues?
Who had not played in the Negro Leagues?
Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one.
So St. Louis again.
Yep.
It's got to be him.
It is.
Okay.
I usually call him by a different name, but
yeah.
Oh man.
Highlights. Really enjoying the show, guys. I have a hall pass and I love it.
Right.
Highlights. Yeah,
love that you're spending the hall pass with us.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on at some point. Highlights.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool. Definitely. No, not Ozzy. That's a good guess. Ozzy's a great guess, but it's a little bit before that.
Yes. A guy we've talked about a fair amount on the show.
Lou Broxton, also another great guess. Not him.
Nope.
You're around the right era, Highlights, which might actually kind of give it away there.
Yeah, there's one Cardinal, I think, that stands above the rest in that era.
It may or may not have broken baseball.
For sure broke baseball.
Just saying. Lou Brock now? Nope, not yet, Curtis. Almost.
Bartolo Colon.
He was the second.
Oh man. Bartolo.
I love Bartolo. Man. Yes, Bob Gibson. There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
This is This is probably one of the baseball players, if I could ever go back in time and watch play, he's way up there for me.
Oh, for sure.
Way up the list for me. I would love to have seen this dude in his prime. Man.
Yeah. Would have loved it. Got robbed. All right, my next two are for the history buffs in the group. So here we go. Who won a Gold Glove award despite only handling 17 chances all season? So this guy won a Gold Glove and only had a ball hit to him 17 times.
What? How does that even
Right?
qualify him?
You'll see why. But yeah, handled 17 chances all year.
And I feel like I should know this. I feel like I've heard this before, but I don't have a clue. How the heck do you win a Gold Glove with 17 chances? Are you a DH? And you handled 17 foul balls that rolled to you at the on deck circle? Like,
Flat Cheese, you're right. It was a pitcher.
oh, gotcha.
It was a pitcher that didn't get a lot of balls hit to him.
Rivera
So you're
is a guess.
So the picture is absolutely Yankee Stadium, so it's absolutely a Yankee. But it's you got to go back a little ways. This is for the history guys. I mean, not like way back, but
Yeah, had to have been a pitcher. That's a good call, Flat Cheese. I wasn't even thinking pitchers because I got nothing. Whitey Ford.
I mean, not a bad guess. I feel like this is one for sure that Forrest would pick up because it's one of those like obscure questions that like a true trivia buff or true history buff would be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. This guy actually won 8 Gold Gloves.
Oh wow!
And he won 6 of them in a row. And I believe the belief is he won this Gold Glove that year because he'd won 3 straight, and they're like, nobody else really had a great season. We'll just give it to him again. Because at one point he'd won 6 in a row, and this was in that stretch.
Gotcha. So we got Goose Gossage, we got Grove, we got Ford. That's not Ford. I guess that one highlights, but it's not
all good guesses.
I don't even have a second guess, Harrison. Don Larson. Nope, that's the wrong team. No, it's not the wrong team, but it's not Larson.
All right, we'll give Chad another few seconds, then we'll flip to it. This one was pretty cool.
Got nothing. Pettit. That's a good guess, Curtis.
I will tell you this is a guy from the 60s.
Oh God, I'm out.
Yep. From the 60s, won 8 Gold Gloves, 6 of them in a row. Didn't pitch for the Yankees only. He did move on from the Yankees, but best known as a Yankee. So, all right, let's flip it, Nick.
All right.
This is Bobby Shantz. See, you knew it all along, Nick.
Yeah. Dang.
So he won the 1960 Gold Glove, handled 17 chances. He won 8 of them in total and 6 in a row. This was in the middle of that 6. So the belief was they basically just kind of gave it to him because nobody else had a compelling case. And they're like, well, he's won a bunch. We'll just give this one to him also.
Well, the rest of the league threw 18 balls into right field, so can't give it to them. He handled all his correct. That's crazy. Well, they probably also didn't have minimum attempts requirements or anything back then. Like his fielding percentage, his fielding percentage was 1,000, so it's a Gold Glove.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And he was a good fielder by all accounts with the 8 Gold Gloves. So it's one of those where it's like, man, just give him another one.
I didn't have a chance in the world on that one. Oh man, I love you guys. It's incredible.
Oh, you guys. All right. Another one for the history buffs. Which team besides the 1971 Orioles had 4 20-game winners in the same season? So this team had 4 pitchers that won 20 games.
I actually think I know this one because I randomly was looking up wins totals.
So yes, do you know which year?
It's Oh God! You didn't ask what year on the trivia question, Harrison. You guys
I
are
mean,
You guys are terrible. Sorry, I'm just. It's got to be what 1791 would be my guess.
you're pretty close. Yeah.
It's got to be back in the
It's
day.
actually, it's a kind of an important year in their history.
Oh, it was then. Oh, so the year after.
Yeah.
Gotcha. 1899 Reds. Not a bad guess, and you're not
Not
too
a
far off.
terrible guess.
No. I don't even really have any hints.
There was a really, I mean, I guess the hint I'll give, which will give it away, is there was a really, really bad year in this team's history, and this was the year after it. Like a really, really bad, newsworthy,
That we still talk about today.
changed baseball kind of year.
Yeah.
Not for the better.
And as soon as Pete Rose gets in the hall, this guy's going in right after him. 1920 White Sox. Nailed it.
That is correct. So we all know the 1919 White Sox for the little scandal they had. Well, the year after, they were really, really good, and nobody really remembers because they were still dealing with the fallout. So yeah, the 1920 White Sox, they had Red Faber, who won 23 games, Lefty Williams won 22, Eddie Seacott won 21, and Dickie Kerr won 21. Pretty good rotation.
Dang. That's
and
crazy.
Completely forgotten because they were dealing with all the fallout from the scandal the year before. So kind of a lost year in White Sox history, but pretty impressive one.
Yep. That's for sure.
So I asked this question, Nick, years ago, and I'm curious if anybody remembers or if can get it. So of the 16 franchises of the modern two-league era, which one has never won more than 100 games during a regular season? So they might have won 100, but they've never won more than 100 in their history.
So that's not counting Arizona, Colorado,
Yeah.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, the original kind of 16. When they first split into the two leagues, the original 16.
Right. Gotcha. Are the Reds still on that list?
Yeah, they're not the answer, but they'd be on that list.
Oh, they have won over 100 before?
Yes.
White Sox?
It is the White Sox.
So that's one of them. Oh, is there?
There's only one. Only one answer.
There's only one. Oh, damn.
So the White Sox have won 100 games only once back in 1917. They've never broken over 100.
Dang. That's crazy.
For teams that are around that long, to have never done better than 100 is, I mean, 100 wins is a lot, don't get me wrong. But, like, you've never had that one team. I mean, that 2005 team only won 99 games.
I was just going to ask only,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Only,
still.
I mean, 99 is a lot of wins, but that 05 team was really good, and they only won 99.
Damn, every other team has been over 100 at some point.
Yep. Of those 16 originals, they've all won 100 plus, except for the White Sox.
That was a stab out of left field. Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, Milwaukee Angels. How many now? Like everybody, I mean, Colorado hasn't gotten 100 wins.
Yeah, Colorado hasn't.
Has Arizona reached 100 ever? I don't know. It should be.
I'm pretty sure the Rays had a better than 100 win season somewhere along the line. They won 100 in 2021. So the Rays would be on that list. They've won 100 games once.
Okay.
In 2021. They've won 99, but never broken over 100. So yeah, probably several teams on that list.
Dang.
Only 99 in the championship. Shame. And actually, this is a great point, Mike. Yeah, in 1920, they had 4 guys win 20 plus games and didn't win over 100 games. So yeah, that's who was the 5th start. He must have been terrible.
He was like 0-40.
Like what was his deal?
Yeah, man.
I need to look and see how many wins they had that season.
That's funny.
Because let's see, 1920, they won 96 games with 4 guys getting better than 20 wins.
Dang.
That's a tragedy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wild.
Wow. Good one.
All right. This is always a fun one. Who was the last player to win the World Series MVP for a team that he didn't start the season with?
Oh, this is an old one.
It is.
I came up. Yeah, you pulled this from deep in the archives.
I did.
This is a great one.
Yeah.
I love this one.
Some of these questions we've asked like way back when. Some of these questions I don't think we've ever asked, but I've always loved this question because it's a thinker, but it shouldn't be.
This dude also hit like 2 grand slams within 3 days. I think like walk-off grand slams or something ridiculous like that too.
Yeah. A guy that nobody's going to remember. I mean, really, a kind of unremarkable career except for like a couple of months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great one. I don't have any other hints.
There's no hints. Like you either know who this guy is or you don't. Because there's nothing else about his career that you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that time.
Well, he did bounce around the AL East. He did play for all 5 teams in the AL East.
Well, that is true. He did. He did make a stop everywhere. It's not Scott Brocious. Good guess though, John.
And it's not Danny Jansen.
Not Danny Jansen.
Not the Dodgers will make sense if you figure out the guy.
Yep. Yeah, he was not a player for the Dodgers, but the World Series was won and clinched in LA.
And he took the MVP away from a certain pitcher. That was pretty. Yes, it is Steve Pearce.
There you go, Mike.
Yeah.
Steve Pearce, 2018 World Series MVP. He started the year in Toronto. He started the year there. I think he got hurt, missed some time, came back, got traded, and then had that crazy run for the Red Sox.
Yeah. He stole the World Series MVP away from David Price. I kind of felt bad for Price there for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough.
Oh, I said old school. Oh, I said old school because we asked this question. Like this was one of our very, very first trivia questions, like I don't know, 3-4 years ago. So
yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant by old school. Sorry. Didn't. Okay. Anyways.
Moving on. All right. I asked this question because this is kind of a fun one. So who is the only pitcher to surrender home runs to all 3 of the Alou brothers? So that would be Felipe, Matty, and Jesus.
That's
one pitcher has given up a home run to each one of them.
That's freaking hilarious.
I know, right?
So I got to think of guys.
I also missed the part where the Giants starting outfield at one point was all the Alous.
Oh, yep.
I knew they all played together. I didn't realize that like literally they played pretty much every day together.
Yeah. Well, that's just like when the Larkin brothers, or they called up Barry Larkin's brother so he can play in the same same infield as the Boone brothers. That was a kind of a cool game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, this has got to be Moyer. Not a bad guess.
That is not a bad guess.
I'm trying to think of like pitchers around that time period that could. Is it a well-known name?
Yes. Which stadium is that in the background? Can you tell?
It's Wrigley.
It is. So it's
Oh, so then
Cubs pitcher.
okay. I got it then. Did he also play for the Harlem Globetrotters at one point?
He may have.
Yeah.
Reports have said.
Yep. I got it then.
I forgot about the Harlem Globetrotters question. That was a good one.
Yeah, I pulled that one was which was it 5 players that had played for the Harlem Globetrotters too.
Yep.
Not Traxel, Mike Reed. Shots fired.
A little too early, I guess, for Traxel.
You guys should get. He's probably the most famous Cub pitcher in their history, I would say. Right? I mean,
he's up there. In terms of pitching legends for the Cubs, he's up there.
Yes, Ferguson Jenkins is correct, Curtis. Absolutely.
Yep. So he gave up home runs to Felipe, Matty, and Jesus.
Imagine what that dinner conversation's like with the 3 brothers. Like, dude, Fergie was just throwing meatballs up there all day today, man. Wasn't that awesome?
I mean, and then you had like a bunch of their kids played. Like that is a family full of ball players.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's cool. Good one.
Yeah, so that's it.
And that's it. Those are good. I love this. The good old just straight up questions. Those are awesome.
Straight trivia.
Love it. Absolutely.
It's fun to just mix it up, and people seem to love just like the straight up trivia questions. So let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we've been on for already 2 hours. What a great show that was. Absolutely incredible. But just a nice little warm up to get me stretched out for Thursday. That's all, Harrison.
Yeah, this is just a work day to get you ready for Thursday.
Yeah. So, I am throwing the invite out to anybody that wants to come on the show on Thursday. I'm pretty much going to post the link on our page probably. And if you want to join, you can, or send me a message and let me know. I would love to have you guys on. Like I'm going to be I'm going to be on all day. I went to the grocery store, got my drinks, got my snacks. So I am planning on sitting on here, minus a couple, probably 30 to 1 minute bathroom breaks here and there, to watch the games all day Thursday. And in honor of Cap'n, we are going to pick an organization. We're going to do a little fundraiser marathon. Would love for you guys to donate, whether it's 50 cents, $1, whatever you want to feel like. I think it would be a great way to honor his memory. So if you guys want to hop on with me, keep me some company on Thursday, I'd love to have you. But I'll just be, I'll have MLB TV up on the computer and just kind of hanging out here. So if you want to come on, talk some ball, let me know. I'll get you on the show. Otherwise than that, I'll probably see you at some point Thursday. And until then, opening day, fellas, 3 days away. We're almost there. Let's go.
Baseball season. Woo.
Yes. All right. So I'll be safe. We will see you all Thursday.